Okay guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today guys, I thought I would change it up just a little bit. I usually just do like gameplay videos, but today I wanted to sit down and I wanted to talk about round 2 of the 2019 AMA Supercross season that took place in Glendale. There were a few crazy things that went on throughout the night, and I just wanted to sit down and kind of talk to you guys about them, give you guys my thoughts on each situation, get your opinions on the situations, and yeah, you guys can throw all your comments down below and everything, so it should be pretty fun. If you guys want me to do more videos like this where I sit down and just kind of actually like talk about like real life moto and what went down in the pro Supercross and all that, let me know in the comments below, because it's something I definitely want to do more. Like, I'm always watching Supercross and all that, so I can definitely do that if you guys want to see more videos like this. Let me know in the comments below if this is something you enjoy, and without further ado guys, let's start talking about the stories. So this video is going to go up on Monday. This is going to go live on Monday, which means Supercross was 2 days ago. It took place on Saturday, and we have some Supercross to talk about. There were some crazy things that went down at Glendale, including, Blake Baggett. Blake Baggett finally got his first 450 main event win, which was crazy. We had Anderson take out Ken Roczen, and Roczen wasn't too happy. Now, I have my own opinion on the pass, and we're going to talk about that later, but that's just one of the stories. We also have Barcia, Justin Barcia, and Dean Wilson kind of got into a little bit of drama after their heat race, so we can talk about that as well. And we're just going to talk about a couple stories. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm not sure what we're going to throw up on screen for gameplay or what we're going to do there, but enjoy the Supercross gameplay. It'll probably be Monster Energy Supercross, probably some Glendale, so enjoy that gameplay, and let's talk about the juicy, good old stories. So Supercross is always intense. It's always like high action. There's always big crashes and everything. Oh, another story we're going to talk about, Malcolm Stewart, who had a gnarly crash. Hopefully he heals up quick and everything, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Like I said guys, if you do enjoy this style of video, let me know in the comments below. Smash the thumbs up if you do enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and okay, let's talk about it. That's enough babbling. So the first story we're going to talk about, I think we kind of just got to start like almost in chronological order and end it off with a bang. So we're going to start here talking about Barcia, Justin Barcia, and Dean Wilson. So we're just going to focus on the 450 class today. The 250 class, it wasn't too crazy. Ferrandis had a pretty wild high side. He went down, he hit the ground pretty hard, and he still made it up to like 6th place in the main event. But the 450 main event, a lot went down, or just in the 450 class in general. So Justin Barcia and Dean Wilson, what happened? So the heat race took place, and I guess they were getting pretty close. Rubbing is racing, and they were getting pretty close in the corners and the straightaways. Barcia was, I guess, cutting over on Wilson on jumps and everything. Now Racer X was actually able to catch up with both of them after the whole night. So after the main event, they caught up with Wilson and Barcia to talk about the situation. Wilson went on to say that they got super close a few times throughout the heat race, and there's no need for it. It's only a heat race. They just want to get through it safely. Wilson has been injured enough, and he doesn't want to get injured again, especially if it's not his fault. He said at the end of the race that he was riding like a madman, referring to Barcia. He told Barcia he was riding like a madman. He said he was crazy, and then Barcia flipped him off twice. So he gave him the middle finger twice, guys. Wilson goes on to say that he's seen Barcia flip off so many people, including his own teammate last year, and he's not going to put up with it. He told him to cool the beans, it's just a heat race, let's all be safe, and I guess Barcia flipped him off, and Wilson's just not having it. So all in all, Wilson wasn't really too heated. He just didn't really like the aggressive riding in a heat race. Like, it's only a heat race for no points or anything, and he doesn't want to get injured, and he doesn't want to put up with the aggressive riding and the way Barcia acts on and off the track. So Wilson just kind of left it at that. Like, there wasn't anything too serious. He just didn't want to have to deal with that. Now Barcia went on to say that he doesn't really know what was going on in the heat race. He said that Wilson told him that he cut over on him or something, and he tried to take him out. He smashed his hand, so Wilson smashed Barcia's hand, and Barcia doesn't really know. He knows what he was talking about before the finish line, but Barcia said that he didn't intentionally jump into the side of them, so I guess they got pretty close before the finish line, and Barcia said that that wasn't his goal. That wasn't his goal at all. It was just a slick track, and he came over a little bit. Now, He did understand that Wilson was probably, you know, kind of upset about that and mad, but they didn't have to fight after the race. Barcia went on to say that Wilson got into his face. Wilson came up to him, and then Barcia pushed him out of his face, told him to get away, and I guess TV kind of took that and spun it and said that they were getting into fights and that Barcia needed to be more serious about his championship. Barcia went on to say that it was stupid, it was no big deal, he was mad, and that was pretty much it. So kind of two sides to the story there. We have, you know, Wilson, who doesn't want to deal with like the childish behavior of, you know, getting flipped off and all that, and the aggressive riding and everything. They just want to be able to deal with it like adults. And then Barcia, who, you know, says, you know, everything happened on accident, nothing was intentional, and it was stupid, it was no big deal. So that's that. In my opinion, racing is racing, rubbing is racing, and there's always drama. Now moving on from there, guys, I think we're going to talk about Malcolm Stewart. So the man himself, guys, Mookie. Oh man, what a tough break for Mookie at Glendale. So he was running good. I'm not sure what position they were in, but he actually just passed his teammate Vince Friese through the whoops. And as he was going through the whoops, you know, sometimes the whoops can be deadly, man. The whoops can be deadly. He just kind of missed the front end. The front end dropped. He started skipping, getting a weird rhythm through the whoops, and it bucked him up over the bars, and he actually slammed into the face of the next jump after the whoops. The bike almost hit him. His right leg was all tangled in it. If you guys want to see the crash, just, you know, go on YouTube, type in Malcolm Stewart Glendale crash, and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But the man hit the ground hard. Hopefully he's okay. We do have some information on him thanks to Racer X. So the Smart Top Bullfrog Spas Moto Concepts Honda team has confirmed that Malcolm Stewart sustained a broken femur last night at round 2 of Monster Energy AMA Supercross in Glendale. So it wasn't last night, it was a couple days ago, but this would have been released on the Sunday following the Supercross. He went and he actually got surgery on the day of me recording this on the Sunday. So the day after Supercross, he is having surgery on his femur to get that fixed up. And now basically just a summary of the crash. Like I said, early in the 450 main event, Stewart was riding good, and he had just passed his teammate Vince Friese in the whoops when he lost control at the end of the section and slammed into the next jump. Stewart was down for a long time, and the race was actually red flagged while Ken Roczen was out front, and while the Alpine Stars mobile medical crew attended to Stewart, he was eventually actually stretchered off of the track. He did give a little wave to the crowd as they all cheered for him. His face was definitely a face of pain, like he was in pain during that time, and the race then resumed under a staggered start. And now this is where things get interesting, guys. This kind of leads us in to the next topic. So hopefully Malcolm has a good surgery. It's always a bummer to see people get hurt and get injured in the sport. I mean, a femur, that's a bad one. So hopefully that heals up quick, and he's back out there. He's been doing good. You know, Mookie's one of those guys where I feel like his career has never been like easy for him. I always feel like Mookie is like working his way up, and then something happens and it puts him like 2 steps back, right? So I don't know, it's just a bummer, and even more of a bummer that it happened to Mookie. Now this kind of leads us into the next thing. So off of the staggered start, it went to a staggered start on the red flag. The race was red flag, restarted. Staggered start, guys. So basically they lined them up on the start straight. They put Roczen, who was leading the race, right at a white line. Everyone else is lined up behind him with their front wheel at the person in front of them at their back wheel, right? So they're lined up like, I don't even know how to explain it. They're lined up like this all the way down the start. And it allows all of the gaps between people to be closer because you're starting right behind the person. And basically the way it works is a green flag goes, and they can't pass until they cross that white line, and the race is on. They go until they finish the race. Now the starter people had no clue what they were doing with the flags, so the restart was all wonky. The restart was all wonky, but they got the race going, and basically this restart allowed Anderson, who was chilling back in P2 in second place, it allowed him to be right on Roczen. Roczen had like a 2, 3, maybe even like a 4 or more second lead. Like he was kind of starting to pull away, and this restart allowed Anderson to be right behind him. So what happens? Anderson's trying, you know, a few lines to try and see if he can make anything work, and nothing's happening. Now, he goes in and he puts a pass on Roczen. Roczen, he went wide in the corner. Anderson had a nice clean line to jump to the inside. Roczen, 100% in my opinion, had time to react. He had time to react. He should have known Anderson was there, and they hit. Roczen went down. Anderson rode away with the lead. I put a poll on Twitter kind of asking if Anderson's pass on Roczen was dirty. 50% of you said yes, 50% of you said no, it was just racing. So that only had 10 votes. What I want you guys to do is let me know down in the comments. Do you think Anderson's pass on Roczen was dirty or not? Like I said, I think the way the pass was set up, I think Anderson had a clean shot at the inside. Roczen, if you watch the replay, Roczen literally turns down into Anderson's bike. Anderson's already on the inside like this, and Roczen's riding the berm, and he turns down. He cuts down early right into Anderson's bike. If he was aware, if he would have known, he could have rode high around the outside and then maybe even put another dirty block pass back on Anderson in the next corner, taking the lead back. You know, he could have had a little bit of rebuttal, but instead he turned into him and he went down. And I know, like, racing's racing, and it's easy for me to sit here and say, like, oh, Roczen should have known he was there. And in the moment, Roczen probably had no time to react, but I don't really think it was too aggressive. I think it was just racing. Like, Anderson saw the opportunity and he went for it, and that's pretty much my opinion on it. Now let's move on from there. That's kind of all the excitement for the night. I mean, we had a crazy heat race, I guess, with Barcia and Wilson. Then we had some drama with Malcolm Stewart there. I mean, not really drama, but an injury there, and just some chaos with that crash and the red flag and everything. The red flag was crazy, bringing that out. The staggered start, like I said, the officials doing the start, like, they were all confused with the flags. It was almost like someone else had to wave for him to wave the green flag. Like, even Roczen and Baggett and everyone on the podium in the press conference, they were all confused. Like, they were saying, like, they didn't really know what was happening with the flags because they didn't even think the flaggers knew what was going on. Like, yeah, the restart was all weird. Then we had probably the most dramatic part of the night was the pass that Anderson put on Roczen. In my opinion, it wasn't too dirty. Like it was racing, man. Racing is racing. Rubbing is racing, man. So that was pretty much all of, like, the excitement. Now, one final thing. Blake Baggett finally goes out there and gets his first 450 main event win, which was absolutely crazy. Props to him. You know, he went out there and it was cool to see him come up through the pack. I mean, he passed Roczen when Roczen went down because of Anderson, but he actually came up and he passed Anderson clean. Anderson had nothing for him. So I think, you know, Anderson kind of got screwed there. You know, he made the pass for the lead in a dirty way, and then he didn't even win the race, and Baggett beat him straight up. So it kind of looked good on Anderson. In my opinion, like, Anderson's pass was clean. You could definitely tell that after the race, Roczen definitely said something to him, because on the podium, Anderson's speech was literally just him apologizing about the crash and how bad he felt, and then Roczen just started talking about the crash and how it was aggressive, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I don't know, leave your thoughts down below, guys. That's it for today's video. Like I said earlier, if you guys want to see more videos like this where I talk about, like, what happens in Supercross with pro motocross with the big dogs, let me know in the comments below. And other than that, guys, I will catch you in another video. Peace out.